So if you ski as a hobby, or if you go out and you play pickleball or golf, if you hike, if you just want to be able to get on and off the floor and you don't want to pull your adductors or pull your groin muscle, if you've ever had a groin strain, you know how persistent they are, how annoying, and how limiting they can be. So in order to prevent yourself from pulling your groin muscle or straining an adductor muscle, you need to have the strength and the length of that tissue. So today we're going to talk about different stretches you can do, and we're going to talk about a couple of different strengthening exercises that you can do. Easy stuff, all of this you can do from home. Hi, I'm Dr. Leslie DeRosier. I'm a doctor of physical therapy, board certified orthopedic specialist, and a strength and conditioning specialist, and the founder of ACL Strong. Today we're going to talk about a different muscle group. We're going to talk about the adductors. This is a large muscle group on the inner thigh, and it's often neglected or forgotten about because it tends to be overshadowed by the quads and the hamstrings. But guess what? The largest of the adductor muscles also functions like a hamstring muscle. And if you do anything that involves side-to-side movement, maybe cutting or turning fast, maybe skiing, maybe pickleball, even just your daily activities, you need to make sure that you have the strength and the flexibility of this muscle group so that you can perform whatever you're doing well and so that you don't get injured. So today I'm going to talk to you about a couple different ways to stretch the adductors, and then we're going to switch and we're going to talk about a couple of different ways to strengthen the adductors, building from the bottom, building on top of that. So come on with me, we'll start with the stretches and then we'll go into the strengthening exercises. All right, so one of the easiest stretches you can do this dynamically or statically. Just stand comfortably, take a wide stance, and you're going to shift your body over one leg, keep your chest up, and as you bring your body weight over to one side, you can feel the stretch on the inner thigh and the other leg, and then you can switch to the other side. Okay, I like to do this sometimes dynamically before I go out and do a sport or activity, and you can just alternate back and forth and you sort of gradually loosen up that muscle group and you take it a little bit deeper. You can also just hold it here statically and you get a nice stretch. Easy to do. One thing to pay attention to is when you're in that position, you want to take your pelvis, tip it forward so you keep a neutral spine and you keep your chest up. That's going to dial that stretch in a little bit more. Okay, we can also take this to the floor. I want to show you a stretch here. Okay, so come on down here. If you're on your hands and knees and you take one leg out to the side, okay, this would be the leg that you want to stretch. Okay, now the first thing to do is, similarly as I talked about standing, tip your pelvis forward so you get a real flat or even curved back to a neutral lower back. Okay, and again, you lift the chest and you tuck your chin in. From this position, all I need to do is I need to sit my hips back towards my back foot, and you'll get a nice stretch on the inner thigh. Now, if I don't keep my pelvis tipped forward, if I let it round like this, I'm going to just keep going and I'm not ever going to feel that stretch. So if that happens to you, come back and reset. Drop the pelvis down like you're taking your belly button down to the floor. Hold here and then just rock slightly back and keep that pelvis tipped forward. Okay, and you don't have to go far to start feeling that stretch. Now that I'm here, I'm going to hang out for maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually drive my foot into the floor and my knee into the floor, almost trying to bring the knee and the foot together. So let's do that. So we're going to hold, squeeze, about 10 seconds, and then relax, and you might be able to sink a little bit further into it. Okay, so that's a great adductor stretch. Let me just show you from the front. There you go. And here's another way you can do an adductor stretch. If you have a stretch out strap, you can come down to the floor, hook the strap around each foot. Notice that this is not a elastic strap. This is something that's very taut. If it has some give to it or a stretch to it, then I'm not going to be able to lock in the stretch the way I need to. So I'm going to just get into position here. I'm going to grab the loops on the strap because I want to again tip my pelvis forward and lift my chest up. Okay, I could sit here like this, but I'm not going to be getting the stretch where we need it. So I want to pull myself up and hold it there. Okay, those are a couple of easy stretches you can do. Okay, and now for strengthening the adductors. We're going to start with a basic isometric, but the reason I'm starting here is we're going to lie down, take a ball, put it between your knees. Okay, and an isometric is when the muscle is contracting, but it's not going through a big range of motion. So I'm going to get into position here with my knees bent, and we'll have a ball between the knees, and if I gently squeeze the ball, I'm engaging my adductors. So it's a very low level, very entry level adductor strengthening exercise. But what I like to do at the same time is try to connect my core to my adductors. I want those to start connecting and stabilizing my trunk and my core and my pillar and the pelvic floor at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to think about a gentle cough. I'm going to engage my deeper stabilizing muscles and squeeze the ball. Now at the same time, hold for about 5 or 10 seconds and then relax. And then we do it again. Squeeze the ball, engage the core, and make sure you're breathing. Okay, pretty straightforward. You have the level 1. Let's move on. Okay, you can use gravity as resistance. If you're lying on your side, cross the top leg over so it's out of the way. Bottom leg is going to lock straight. Again, we're engaging the core, lift and lower. So now we're just using gravity as resistance. All right, so if you don't have any equipment, use gravity. Okay, next you can put a resistance band around your ankle. You can stand and hold something for balance, and you can pull against the resistance of the band. Okay, now we're going to turn this up a notch. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some tension through the band. I'm going to get into a wide stance, lunge away to the other leg. We're going to stand up tall, bring the band in, knee comes up and across, back into a lunge. Lunge to the other side. Slide up, knee up, pull the band, and drop into a lunge. Here we go. Lunge, stand up, pull the band, knee up and across, and back into the lunge. See the routine there? Okay. Now you can also take the band in your hand, and from here, do that same lunge, wide stance. We're lunging away. I'm keeping the band directly out in front of my core. And then as I stand up, I'm bringing the knee up and across, and then we come back. Lunge away, stand up, drop back into it. Always keeping the band stabilized right in front of my core, right in front of my belly button. And lastly, this one is kind of fun too. So if you have a light weight, you can put it on the floor and stand right over it. From here, we're going to lunge away. As I stand up, I'm going to drag that weight in, and then I'm going to lunge the other direction, stand up, drag that weight in. Brace through here, standing up tall. Okay, there you go. A few different ways to both stretch and strengthen the adductor muscles. Have fun.